The postman told me this robot is deeply relatable. This is dedicated to that fine man. Imagine waking up and rolling a massive boulder up a hill. Every day, you wake up and do the same thing, but the boulder never reaches the top of the hill. If that sounds like hell, you'd be right. My dear listener, you are in the underworld, condemned to the same fate as Sisyphus, a Greek king condemned to roll a boulder up a hill for all eternity. In his life, Sisyphus seduced his cousin, killed his house guests and his brother, and maintained an iron grip on the city of Corinth. All of these crimes earned him the fires of perdition, but he had to level up to get a bespoke punishment. But he played his cards right, and it all started with Zeus kidnapping a nymph. The god of questionable consent swooped in and stole a river nymph. Her father, the river god, was distraught and went to Sisyphus. Sisyphus agreed to help for a price. Why help a desperate father when you can extort him? In exchange for the nymph's location, the city of Corinth received a spring of fresh water, and the river god rushed to rescue his daughter, while Sisyphus took a lovely swim without a care in the world. Zeus immediately retaliated against Sisyphus for selling him out. Zeus sent friendly Thanatos, the god of death, to collect this mortal king. Thanatos was a chump who didn't get out much, and Sisyphus complimented his chains and kissed up to him, and then sweet-talked the god of death into his own manacles. Leaving Thanatos chained up in a trunk, Sisyphus went off to party! No god of death means no death, though. And that gigantic crybaby Ares realized war is no fun if there are no consequences for other people. So the god of war rescued Thanatos and set him free. Sisyphus had to set his second plan in motion. The king told his wife to throw his body in the city square and not perform a proper burial. She did as she was asked and left his corpse to rot where everyone could see. Sisyphus appeared before dread Persephone, queen of the underworld, and begged her for the opportunity to speak with his wife one last time. After all, his queen hadn't even given him a proper burial. Sisyphus would return as soon as his body was laid to rest, he promised, and Persephone, ever kind, granted his wish. Sisyphus would not return for several years. This time, Sisyphus stood before loving husband Hades. Hades was incorruptible, completely rational, and perfectly professional. In other words, he was a nightmare for Sisyphus. Hades showed Sisyphus a hill, gave the king a boulder, and said, "Get the boulder to the top." Each time the deceased king got close to the top of the hill, the boulder would slip and roll all the way down. Such is his fate. It is fitting that this build failed when I thought I was finished. First, the motor lacked the torque to lift the ramp, then the gears were installed backwards. Both set me back by weeks. The sense of victory, I feel, is only amplified after those setbacks. In the modern day, Sisyphus feels very relatable. Not because of his tyranny, but because we all have hard tasks that we have to do over and over. But there is solace in the joy and the struggle. Albert Camus said it best. The struggle itself to the heights is enough to fill a man's heart. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. But if the struggle no longer serves you, if it only brings dread, fear, and oppression, then it is time to break the cycle. You all know what time it is. Cue the music.